Hi, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Marshall. Welcome to Tumble, the show where we explore stories of science discovery.
Today, just in time for Halloween, we've got an episode all about cats.
Ooh, a spooky episode about Halloween cats.
I don't know how spooky it is, but it's about how we might have gotten cats all wrong and how science can help us understand our furry feline friends. Okay, Marshall, you might remember that our last Halloween episode was kind of about cats.
Yeah, the mind control cat parasite. I mean, that's kind of more about the parasite, Toxoplasma gondii, than the cats.
That it lives inside?
Yes, that one.
That's true. But in the course of doing the episode, we said something about cats that got a lot of attention from our listeners who left reviews about it. And I thought we could take this Halloween episode to make amends.
What did we say?
Here's a reminder. Marshall, what I want you to do is just channel all of your feelings about cats being evil.
Oh, evil cats. All right. Evil cats. Evil cats. Evil cats. Oh, yeah, we got a lot of listener reviews about that because for some reason they think that cats aren't evil.
You're digging a hole here, Marshall. Hopefully by the end of this episode, we'll change your mind. I want to set the record straight. So I enlisted the help of a cat scientist who can tell us why we got cats so wrong and why they're not evil. Her name is Mikel Maria Delgado.
I think cats are amazing.
I asked Mikel whether she thinks cats deserve their evil, Halloween-y, spooky reputation.
No, I don't think cats are spooky. To me, I mean, I think people find cats maybe mysterious or hard to read. I don't think that necessarily equates with spooky, but obviously some people are afraid of cats. I don't know why. Again, I think that has more to do with the human side of things than the cat side of things.
So the problem isn't cats, it's me. It's specifically me. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me and other humans.
I think noted cat lover Taylor Swift would definitely agree with you.
Oh, is that what that song is about?
Okay, so I wanted to start by coming clean with Mikel about the reputation that we've gained from this. Here's what happened when I read her a few of our many pro-cat listener reviews. I want to read for you like a couple of the reviews that we got from actual kids. Cats are not evil! Exclamation point, exclamation point. They are the best! Totally disagree with you, Marshall. I hope you change your mind.
Did I write that email?
Cats are not evil geniuses, just geniuses.
Yeah.
I'm sad that you think cats are evil and they're gonna hurt you. I have a cat named Morning and she's so nice and it really hurts me. So please reconsider. Cats, period, are, period, not, period, evil, exclamation point.
I do feel minorly conflicted that we hurt some of our listeners' feelings, but you know, cats can still be lovable despite being evil. Those things aren't connected.
You're really going deeper on this than The point is to apologize, Marshall.
They're small and they're cute and they're furry and they're lovable and they're also evil.
Okay, I need to say this for you, that you're allergic to cats. And this is where your feelings come from. I don't know if you've unearthed this in therapy yet, but I'm diagnosing you.
I should also say there is a pro-mouse contingent out there that has strong feelings on this subject.
And birds. But, you know, a lot of people are allergic to cats. A lot of people love mice and birds. But those things don't need to stop us from being curious enough to learn the science behind our relationship with cats. And that's what Mikel is here to teach us. Mikel studies cat behavior, and she's published 2 papers about ways that we misunderstand cats called Catastrophic Myths, Common Misconceptions About Cats, parts 1 and 2.
Catastrophic. Well done. I love a scientist who puns.
Yeah, me too. In her papers, Mikel writes that behaviors that we may see as signs of evilness or meanness are just cats responding to what their humans are doing.
And so when we do things that make them feel unsafe or out of control, that's when we see some of those negative behaviors. And then the cat gets labeled as mean instead of us understanding like, oh, I put the cat in this situation that they were uncomfortable with, and then they hissed at me. Maybe I'm the one who's mean. Whoa.
I guess our cat problems are really us problems. Is that what we're saying here?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like we might need a little help understanding what cats actually need.
So, but why are cats so mysterious about it? Because like with dogs, you always know how they feel, and also some of them can talk. So what's the deal with cats?
None of them can talk, Marshall.
Some of them can.
They can. I think the problem is you don't understand animals at all.
Just because a dog has never talked to you.
Okay, well, Mikel told me that part of our problem in understanding cats is how we're always comparing them to dogs.
We don't talk about, why are cats so different from hamsters? But it's always like, why are cats so different from dogs? Right? So we expect them to be the same because they're both very popular, and they're just very different species.
Huh. So she's saying that just because we put dogs and cats in the same, like, that's a pet we have category doesn't mean that we should compare them as better or worse than the other. It's like comparing apples to oranges, but why would we compare apples and oranges? We eat them both a lot, but they're totally different.
The question of why cats and dogs are so different has to do with how they came to live with us in our homes. Or, scientifically speaking, how they were domesticated.
So during the process of domestication of dogs, we've asked them to do very specific jobs for us. We've asked them to help us in hunting or protecting our property or herding animals or bringing things to us. And we've also probably changed them physically in many more ways than we have cats.
In other words, we've bred dogs for thousands of years to have specific traits that are useful for us.
Like we bred some dogs to be hunting dogs or guard dogs, or my favorite kind of dog, the kind that just sits in your lap.
Exactly. And Mikel told me that dogs have been domesticated for much longer than cats, like thousands of years longer. So we've had time to develop these traits in dogs that actually make us relate to them.
But even their facial features that might make them look a little more human to us, right? Their ability to smile, their ability to raise their eyebrows. These are things that we don't see in cats.
Wait. So we've actually bred dogs so that they smile and raise their eyebrows? Like we did that on purpose?
I don't know about specifically breeding for like a cute little eyebrow raise. But it's something that makes them feel a little bit more human, like our best friends.
Yeah.
And as cute as cats are, there's still something a little wild in their faces.
So as a result, people look at a cat and they don't see a human looking back at them necessarily. Like they don't see a smile. They don't see a frown or like a raised eyebrow. So we see a blank slate and then we start trying to fill in that blank.
So when I think a cat is staring at me because it's wondering if it's big enough to kill me and eat me, that's probably not true.
Nope. It's definitely not doing that.
Instead of assuming that the cat is just relaxed and enjoying looking out the window or is happy that we're there. No, people go to like, I think the cat's mad at me, or I think the cat thinks I'm a jerk, or.
So Mikel is saying that cats are not plotting against us or secretly scheming to take over the world.
Nope. And you'll know it if they were.
If these things were possible, cats would definitely have taken over the world by now.
Well, honestly, based on looking at cats' behavior, how do we know that they haven't already taken over the world?
Everything that's meaningful to them has already been conquered.
Yeah, they stay inside all day. They get all the food that they want just by asking for it. And they sleep like 22 hours a day. That sounds like someone who's running the world.
Ruler behavior.
Indeed.
Okay, so now that we've learned, I think, why cats are so misunderstood, the science is also showing that cats actually do care about their humans.
There's been a lot of research looking at, do cats miss you when you're gone? The answer is yes. So do they recognize when we're concerned or upset? And the answer is yes. Do cats recognize our voices? Yes.
Hold on, I thought Michael said that we can't even read cats' expressions. Are there studies that tell us what goes on in those itty-bitty kitty brains?
Yes, and more importantly, science can tell us how to make our cat rulers happy. We'll get into all the cat science after we press pause to take a quick break. We're back, and it's time to find out how science gets inside the convoluted minds of cats.
I didn't even think it was possible to get a cat to stop sitting on you or to get them to the vet. So how on earth did people get cats to participate in a study?
Well, Michael says that actually science comes to the cats.
Of course it does.
Cats don't do that well in a sterile, unfamiliar environment. So it's very hard to study their behavior in a laboratory. It's much better to study them in their natural environment, which for cats is usually either outside, if they're a feral or what we call a community cat, or in the home, which is where they live and are comfortable and are more likely to behave like their natural self.
Yeah, sounds like world ruler behavior to me again.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Your Majesty. We've brought our humble science to your regal abode. Please, will you help us?
Please descend off your cat condo and let us lay these gifts at your feet.
Of course. So, but I don't know. Are they like barging into the cat's house with a bunch of test tubes? I feel like that's not going to go well for the scientist.
Well, the experiments Michael told me are about determining cat preferences or cat purr-fur-ences.
Oh, geez. All right. This is just getting started, isn't it?
The first half was a warm-up.
So how do they study cat purr-fur-ences?
Thanks, Marshall. Well, the scientists start with a question about what cats like, because understanding what cats like can help people have more positive interactions with cats.
Oh, no.
But as far as like a specific research question, you always start with some broad ideas and then you formulate maybe a specific hypothesis. Like, I think if we do this, that cats will do that.
And this idea or hypothesis was about how cats prefer to be petted by their humans. So the cat's humans were even able to participate in the study.
They'd identified 4 different parts of the body, and then they just had people pet them. And they would note whether or not the cat showed positive and negative behaviors.
Or positive and negative behaviors.
Oh, come on.
That study found that cats preferred to be petted on the face, so the area between their ears and their eyes, so the forehead and the cheeks. And they least liked being handled on the what's called the caudal region, or that's the base of the tail. So that's the lower back, right where the tail meets the body.
The caudal region, like around the base of the tail, that that's a butt, right?
It's more like the end of their back.
Okay.
And just because the cats in the study preferred those areas, it doesn't mean that all cats love being petted on their faces or that no cats like being petted on the caudal region.
So they looked at a sample of cats. They could not test every single cat in the world. So from this data, can we say that every single cat loves to have their cheeks rubbed and hates having the base of their tail touched? No.
Okay, so this sounds like a pretty simple study, but does it really help us learn how to behave with our own individual cats or maybe a friend's cat?
It's a good place to start. And from there, we can learn more about what each cat likes.
So what should I do when I meet a new cat? If I'm going to pet them, I should pet them on the forehead or the cheeks and see how they do, rather than just go right for the base of the tail.
So don't start with the caudal region. It's a risky spot.
Yeah, cats are sensitive in different places than we are. Our hands are sensitive.
Which is why we like petting all the fluffiest dogs and cats and bunnies and other fluffy things.
Yes, and maybe we even try to kiss them.
So we want to pet and kiss everything cute in the world, right? Whether it's a baby or a puppy or a cat, we want to pick them up and I love you.
That is what we sound like, isn't it? And that's actually terrifying. I wonder if that's the problem.
Yeah, I don't think that they would want to see our big lip smackers coming up their faces.
I guess when you think about it, I want to eat you right up is actually like a pretty serious threat.
Yeah, and maybe that's why when cats have cat friends, they just kind of like bump into each other and keep walking.
So when we approach them thinking that they like human types of handling, and this is the thing with dogs too, right? Because, people want to hug dogs. And there's been some research suggesting that dogs don't really love being hugged. And if you tell people that, they get really offended. It hurts our feelings if our pets don't like the things we like. But that's just the reality.
It is a harsh reality, but I guess a necessary one to learn.
Yeah. Another thing that cats don't prefer. Michael told me most cats don't like wearing Halloween costumes.
Wait, they did a scientific study about that?
No, they actually didn't. But Michael's observed enough cats in costumes to know that it displeases them. And she says she has some Halloween cat advice for everybody.
I'm just begging you all, please do not put a costume on your cat. It really impedes their movement. It can impede their ability to see if you have something on their head.
Unfortunately, some of the things we love doing with cats aren't things that they like to have done to them.
We have to kind of think about, how does this feel to my cat to just be picked up and carried around? If they're they actually like to have their paws on the ground. So the things that we do, like hugging and kissing, might not be how they normally communicate. And so we have to keep that in mind so that we have better interactions with them.
So I guess if we learn what cats want, we can treat them the way that they want to be treated. And then they'll be nice to us and maybe not eat us.
They definitely won't eat us. For Michael, as a lifelong cat lover, the process of studying cats means that she can always learn more about her fascinating feline friends.
It's been helpful to not only better understand animal behavior, but better understand how to learn if I have more questions in the future, which there's always more questions.
So speaking of more questions, I did have one last very important question for Michael. Since we have unjustly implied that cats might be evil.
I think it's further than an implication in my case.
I asked Michael, how should we apologize?
And what did she say? And does it involve tuna fish?
I think at the start of every future episode, you should say that cats are great.
Every episode. Wow.
For the rest of your lives.
The show where we explore stories of science discovery and also cats are great.
That's perfect.
All right, message received. So to all of our kitty companions and to all of our listeners, I have accused cats of being evil because it seemed like a funny Halloween joke. But to some of you, it was not funny.
In fact, it was a catastrophic thing to say.
Cats are magnificent, noble creatures worthy of respect and dignity, and they look especially regal when they're riding on Roombas. We are very sorry.
We are very sorry. So, did we do it?
I think you've made reasonable amends.
All right. I've always wanted to write a good apology letter, and I wrote it all by myself. I didn't even have to rely on Cat GPT.
Really wouldn't make sense to see cats as the human idea of good or evil anyway.
Yeah, they're just being their truest cat selves, just peacefully existing, staring out the window, relaxing in the sun, gloating over the fact that they've already taken over the world.
Cats are great.
Now that you've learned how scientists study pet preferences, try doing your own study with your own cat, or team up with a friend who has a cat.
Choose a room and divide it up into 4 areas. You can mark them with tape or even move the furniture.
Put a different cat activity or treat in each of the areas and start a timer and let your cat go into the room. Then make some observations. Which activity or treat does your cat go to first? Which area do they spend the most time in?
What conclusions or cat-clusions can you make?
This is a great way to understand the cat perspective.
Thank you, Marshall. Thanks today to Dr. Mikel Maria Delgado, cat behaviorist.
Hear more from our interview with Michael on the special bonus interview episode that's available to Patreon members who pledge at the $1 level or higher at patreon.com/Tumble Podcast.
We'll also have more free resources to learn about cat science on our website at sciencepodcastforkids.com. And if you want to tell us that you think our apology was sufficient, or maybe tell us other nice things about the podcast, go ahead and leave a review for the show with the help of a parent or guardian on Apple Podcasts. We really do read them all.
This material is based upon work supported by the National Science Foundation under grant number 2415575, Culturally Situated STEM Podcast for Kids. Special thanks to our research and cultural editorial team, Dr. Remy Doe, Yasmin Catricheo, Nuria Net, and Laura Ordonez.
Sarah Robertson-Lent is our managing editor and designed the episode art. Elliot Hajaj is our production assistant. Gary Calhoun-James is our engineer and mixer. Mikal Richardson wrote this episode. And I'm Lindsay Patterson, and I'm the senior editor and producer of this show.
And I'm Marshall Escamilla, and I made all of the music and sound design for this episode. Tumble is a production of Tumble Media. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more stories of science discovery.